Hello and welcome to the show. Yes, I said I hoped there would be a new intro for this video. Things went wrong, everything broke and crashed and failed. So we basically ran out of time to film for that, and I'm now going away for the weekend. This is all pre-recorded stuff. So yeah, we couldn't quite get it done. I'm hoping that it'll be in a video by Tuesday at the very earliest, hopefully Wednesdays if everything else goes to plan. But yeah, we can't really do much more about that. However, today we have a rivalry, and this is between the German supercars, the Audi R8 V10 and the Porsche 911 Turbo. Now we start with the Audi. I'm sure many of you who have seen our videos, watch our videos regularly, will know our opinions on four-wheel drive supercars. I am really not that much of a fan. Daniel likes the Aventador, but not many other ones. Basically, the four-wheel drive systems generate understeer. It's not as bad as a front-wheel drive car. It's nowhere near as bad as that, but it kind of just ruins the fun a little bit of these incredibly powerful supercars, because you're turning into the corners and you're just getting understeer, and in a big powerful supercar you want it to be exciting and, well, slidey, a little bit slidey maybe. You don't want it to be understeering particularly. This Audi is fairly good, I'm going to be honest. Of all the four-wheel drive cars I've driven, it's certainly not the worst. I think it is to do with the fact that the Audi only sends a small amount of the power to the front. I'm not sure how much it is, but it doesn't send a huge amount of power to the front wheels, which makes it handle relatively well. It will still have a problem with understeer, but it's fairly manageable. Of course, the advantage of four-wheel drive is that there's plenty of traction and very good acceleration. The Audi does 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, which is pretty damn good, I have to say. It'll go onto a top speed of 204 miles an hour, which again I think is not too bad. I like the engine. I really do like the engine here, the V10. It's got 525 horsepower. It makes a fantastic noise. And in general, actually, I quite like the Audi. It's not the most exciting supercar in the world to look at. It's a good-looking car, don't get me wrong. It's just not exciting and flamboyant and shouty like an Italian car, really. It's a very German car, the Audi R8. The only real criticism I have, well, first of all, it's quite expensive at 150,000 credits. But again, that's not too bad. I also really don't like the silly LEDs. I know why cars have them around the headlights. It's to do with European rules about daylight running lamps. They have to have lights that are always on. But I hate the silly LEDs that everyone's using, and especially on supercars. And the Porsche actually still has that same problem as I fall off the road. Whoopsie. Yes, the car that we're comparing it to is the 911 Turbo. Now these two are both exactly the same PI. The game rates them as exactly the same performance. Now the Porsche is the faster of the two, accelerating 0 to 60 3.4 seconds. That's very, very, very quick. Top speed is 204 miles an hour again. The Porsche is slightly less powerful at 480 horsepower, however it is a little bit lighter. Also costs quite a lot less. It's only 100,000 credits, and so yeah, it's quite a fast car. The problem is the handling is really not so good in this car. This is more of a traditional four-wheel drive car. I don't know how much power goes to the front wheels in these things. In real life, in the game, from what I was looking at the replays in like really slow motion, I presume it's fairly even power to the front and rear wheels, which makes this thing very difficult to drive. This is actually, to be honest, this is one of the worst handling four-wheel drive cars I've driven in quite a while. It's so understeery. It is very, very quick out of the corners. Acceleration in this thing is phenomenal, and I think it would get to its top speed faster than the Audi. The problem is when you get to a corner, it's just so bad. It's really understeery. With the Audi, if you sort of boot it a bit, the tail will go out, and you can kind of just about slide. You can't drift it properly. Well, you can kind of drift four-wheel drive cars. You can't really drift the Audi in a conventional way. This Porsche, it just understeers everywhere. I mean, I've said before, I like a car that understeers. I don't like a car that has on-power understeer. There's a very big sort of difference. I'd get into a long, complicated discussion about how things work and how my driving style is. But the Porsche is not for me. I don't really like this car particularly. It's too understeery. It is very fast, don't get me wrong. Around a lap between these two, well, we will find out in a minute actually, because we're going to hand these over to the Stig, who will take them for a lap around our test track. Now, as I said, expectation-wise, these cars are a mid S-Class. They are at 639 PI. They are both absolutely identical. I will point out, actually, my computer is having some real issues, so these videos may be slightly out of sync, because I can't really tell until after this video is rendered, because my computer was going so slow. So I'm sorry if they are out of sync. Anyway, expectation-wise, these cars are around mid-S class. Both of them are identical PIs. Now, the Porsche is the faster accelerating, the Audi is the faster around the corners, which will make for an interesting comparison between these two, because this track has got quite a lot of straights. In real life, generally, the higher top speed cars do well around here. However, things like the Caterham, the Lotus 211 has gone well around here on our leaderboard. So the Audi should still be in with a shot. As you can see, they come out the hammerhead. You can see how much the Porsche is understeering compared to the Audi. The Porsche is a little bit ahead now. Again, I can't really tell that's due to syncing because of my stupid computer. As we come through, follow through now. Both these cars are quite tricky through there. They're not particularly high. I think they're under 100 miles an hour through there because of the understeer from the four-wheel drive system. We come up towards the second to last corner now. The Porsche is a fraction ahead as they both get turned in fairly nicely through there. There's one more corner to go. There's going to be understeer from both of them, and there we go. They are across the line. Now, as you can see, the Porsche was fractionally ahead of the Audi. It wasn't by a huge amount. So now it is time for the lap times. The 911 Turbo did a 1:15.6, whereas the Audi R8 did a 1:16.0. I'm not hugely surprised by that. Around a shorter track, a tighter track, I think the Audi would be quicker. The Top Gear test track is quite a long, sort of plenty of straight, lots of acceleration, which I think is why the Porsche was the faster. Both of them's tyres actually are a little bit lower, I think, than their PI. They're not the fastest times for that sort of car. I think it's just to do with the fact of the understeer that both of them have. That through the corners, they're just not particularly quick. However, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave your suggestions for what rivalry I will speak English. Please leave your suggestions as to what rivalry we should do next week. We'll have a look through. We'll pick our favourites, and then that'll be in a video at some time. However, that is it for today. Until next time, goodbye.